Hello, everyone, and welcome back for the first time in a long time to Log Banter, our show where we just talk about what we've been playing in video games. And it's been about 2 months, 2 months since we last uploaded this, and we're calling this season 2 of Backlog Banter. We're gonna have a new thumbnail template, considering I've been using the exact same one, and it was very lazy of me to just keep reusing that over and over again. But we're back for season 2. And we're excited to return to talk about video games. I'm excited to have this be a reason that I start playing a lot more video games. It is now summer for both of us. Abram is back home. I'm fucking where I always am. But Abram is the one that has been gaming a lot. He's been gaming a lot since we recorded that, and he's got a lot of games to discuss. So he, much like Jesus, is going to take the wheel on this episode. But first, hold the fucking phone, hold your bananas, hold your potatoes. We're gonna be talking about how you should subscribe to us and like the video and join us in our Discord so we can talk about video games. And I can't wait to hear what Abram's been playing.
Tucker, I want to give a shout out to Sean Hughes at the beginning of this episode. Sean Hughes, Reviews by Hughes, works over at Lock On Magazine, Switch Player Magazine, a good friend of mine.
Reviews by Hughes is a fucking phenomenal, serious name for him.
Absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
The reason I want to shout him out, Tucker, is because he is an avowed BLB fan. This show in particular, this is his favorite BLB program.
I didn't know anyone like this.
Yes, and we were chatting
Maybe
one day.
Avi, but
probably. We were chatting one day about Monster Hunter Rise, and he said, I can't wait to hear your thoughts on BLB, and I had to crush his spirit by telling him that BLB was taking a hiatus, Tucker.
Yeah.
So the first game I want to mention goes out to him, because we're talking about Monster Hunter Rise to begin with. Because we didn't even make any content for this game. My hair is my
I thought you were supposed to. You were supposed to make a first impressions, I think.
Well, we were supposed to do a lot of things on this channel.
That's true.
Never done.
Yeah.
But Tucker, Monster Hunter Rise is a really, really interesting game. And I believe you have plans to play it this summer, right? So I played it at launch. One of my very good friends, Martin, is stunningly large Monster Hunter fan. He played 60 hours of the demo for Rise.
Good God. How much content is in that demo? 60 hours worth, clearly.
No.
Not that much, no? Okay.
No. There's certainly not. There's like 4 hunts you can do. And there's no customization or anything. It's bizarre.
Yeah.
But so he got me on the Monster Hunter train. I bought the game. I completed it, was told by Monster Hunter fans that you see the credits, you didn't see the whole fucking game, which is okay. So in my almost 20 hours, I really enjoyed what I played, but I just don't think the Monster Hunter grind speaks to me inherently,
Sure.
Right? The game is stunning. The RE engine on Switch is stunning.
Yeah.
There arguably is no better looking game on the system, in my opinion.
Okay.
Not in terms of art style necessarily, but in terms of what they're able to get out of Switch's hardware.
Mm-hmm.
Capcom really called on the power of God to make this game run the way it does.
Yeah.
It's super smooth, and that's backed up by an incredible soundtrack and great art design and everything. It's a really well executed game. I mean, there's been a bajillion Monster Hunter games, so they had a lot of practice, right?
True.
But
yeah.
The core gameplay is very engaging, but for me, it doesn't quite hook me. I don't find the same appeal in, okay, I'm going to keep carving I'm going to run the same monster hunts and keep carving them and get the same stuff to make admittedly super cool armor and weapons, but ultimately I'm just using that to fight bigger and better monsters, which I get the appeal of, but for me, it feels a little bit hollow.
Sure.
The loop just feels a little bit too samey, and while I know I could try different weapons and such, I just didn't get grabbed, I suppose, the way that everyone else did.
Now, I actually find this pretty interesting that you're saying this, because honestly, we have never talked about Monster Hunter because I didn't play it, so there's not really any reason to. But I saw you talking to it with a lot of people in our Discord who were very into it at launch, and also singing the praises of it on Twitter and stuff. Yeah. And I honestly thought that you loved this game. I thought that this was going to make you into a huge Monster Hunter fan. It's interesting to see you say that it's obviously a quality game. That loop just feels a little bit repetitive and hollow, because that's my analysis of the Monster Hunter series. Is I'm like, I like crazy monster designs. I like big open worlds. I like being able to customize my character and use flippy dippy moves and stuff.
Yeah.
But if it just boils down to repeating the same hunts over and over again for that grind, for that, sort of Destiny style, get better weapons to take down better enemies grind. I don't know if that speaks to me in a way that I will get sucked in either. So it's interesting to hear you say that.
Yeah, and the difference for me between something like this and Destiny is that Destiny feels awesome to play, in my opinion.
Mhm.
I think Monster Hunter feels pretty good, but it's very, I would say heavy is probably a good word. It's a
Sure.
heavy and spongy game where you're
Okay.
just beating the fuck out of these monsters. But at a certain point, I am just beating them, waiting for them to die, right?
hmm
And that's just not inherently satisfying for me as a player.
Yeah.
Um, Moving through the main storyline was, and that's kind of a lot of my issues are to justify why I stopped at the credits when there is so much to the
hmm
game past the credits.
Sure.
But for my as a contained 16, 17 hour experience for me, I really did have a great time. But that's my Monster Hunter experience opposed to the like 200 hours people put
Yeah.
into this game
hmm
otherwise. Because when you are fighting these monsters for the first time and they're being led in by these really funny like haikus
Oh,
that
that's
precede
interesting.
each monster, and then you're fighting them and they're going nuts and the music's going nuts and your Palico and Palamute are fighting with you and you're just jumping all over the place and using your wire bug and everything. It's super compelling.
hmm
But then the loop starts to run hollow for me. So it was an issue of being really engaged to a point
hmm
and then just falling off that cliff, which is
Sure.
also similar to my experience with Monster Hunter World, which I
Yeah.
similarly enjoyed but then fell off of.
Now, I just as a hypothetical, not a hypothetical, that's a question to ask. Which one do you say you prefer? Do you like the portability of Rise? Do you like the Palamute and the wire bug aspects of it, or does the large scale fidelity PS4 version of World, does that speak more to you?
Definitely Rise. What's tricky is that I think the best way to play Rise probably is with a pro controller on the TV.
Sure.
So the portability is great, but probably a suboptimal way to play this game in particular.
hmm
That said, I really love the new movement options. I think Kamuro Village is a really great location. It's also a Nintendo system, so I'm biased because that's just an ecosystem I'm more engaged in,
Yeah.
which just inherently helps for a multiplayer title like this, right?
hmm
If you do pick up Rise, though, we should play together because the game is so much better playing with friends.
Sure.
The best times I had playing Rise when I was playing with my buddy in his dorm room and we are just fucking
Yeah.
beating the shit out of some big bird.
Just like how much fun we had playing 3D World multiplayer. That never fucking happened. That's a joke, everyone. That's a joke because we said probably 5 times on this show and other content that we were
Yes.
going to get 3D World. We're excited. It's going to be a great time because we're going to play it together. He's going to play it with Jean, which I think he played a little bit.
Yeah.
And that never. We both played the game, but we never played it co-op.
No, it didn't. Tucker, you just set me up. You just passed me the ball, and I'm gonna make a 3-pointer with it, right? So you're gonna get an assist for that one, because I want to talk to you about another Wii U port. I want to talk to you about
okay.
Pikmin 3 Deluxe.
Yeah, I had to put it together. Wii U port 3D World. Yeah. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So I finished Pikmin 3 Deluxe right before Monster Hunter World. It was the sort of thing where I was
Rise.
playing. Yes. I don't know why I got upset. That's correct. I was talking about the wrong game. Right before Monster Hunter Rise, I finished Pikmin 3 Deluxe finally. And this game is just wonderful. This really is a wonderful game. I have it, by the way, if I keep looking at it, I'm consulting my backlogged list. Tucker's a much bigger backlogged enjoyer than I am, but I still log games when I beat it so I can have a reference.
Yeah.
I currently have Pikmin Deluxe at my 5th favorite game and Rise at my 3rd, but this whole list needs to be adjusted.
Yeah.
This
And that's
was
the
like
fun of having digital lists. It's very easy to alter it.
Yeah, this is like I finished playing the game and immediately logged it.
Yeah.
But let's talk about Pikmin 3 Deluxe.
Yes.
Hold on. I have to stop for a second. I'm getting a phone call from the guy building my computer. I need to take this.
That's fine.
Quickly.
Yeah.
All right, so Pikmin 3 Deluxe, Tucker. Now that I've taken my phone... Hold on. Hi, Dad. All right, Tucker, so now I've taken 2 phone calls, and we're back for the next section of the show in which I tell you about how great Pikmin 3 Deluxe is.
Sounds like a good plan.
I have always had a strange relationship with the Pikmin series where I wanted to like it more than I actually did, but Pikmin 3 Deluxe is the first time that I actually got really into one of the games and finished it, played some of the side content, and truly understood why Pikmin is such a special series. And now I have every intention on going back to 1 and 2, probably the Wii version so I can have pointer controls,
Yeah.
which is the ideal way to play and experience the entire trilogy, because these games are just so special. Not only is 3 Deluxe a gorgeous game,
Mhm.
but it has so much charm, and the gameplay, it straddles a really great line between accessibility and strategic depth
Mhm.
in a way that keeps you engaged but doesn't punish you. There was always this sense of, oh, the Pikmin are gonna die and it's gonna be so sad and you're gonna lose and you're gonna have to reset and everything, right? It's not
Mhm.
necessarily true, and I know that
You're just too good,
difficulty kind of
honestly.
the difficulty kind of slopes down as you get deeper into the series, right? As Nintendo tried to get anybody to play Pikmin,
True.
and hopefully this Niantic game helps a little bit. But
Oh yeah,
all I
that
can really
that's happening.
and that's a bizarre one, because they were like, hey, here's a picture and here's like a paragraph, and this game is coming out sometime this year. I'll be curious if that Pikmin game actually does come out.
Mhm.
Part of me thinks it's not even going to happen now,
Possible.
but Pikmin 3 Deluxe, really every facet of the experience is just excellent.
Now, my question is, do you think this is the ideal way to play Pikmin 3, not only with the visual upgrades and the side content, but is with a Pro Controller slash on handheld slash Joy-Con pair, is that is that a great way to play it, or would you say that it hampers the experience in any way compared to pointer controls?
Pointer controls are better.
Yeah,
This is a strange situation where I think Pikmin 3 Deluxe is, of course, the better package. Not only does it clean up the game, add more content, really, it honestly is probably one of the best Wii U ports.
Mhm.
At the same time, the Switch's gyro is just so bad. It
Yeah.
just drifts to the moon and doesn't come back. You're constantly trying to recalibrate it. It just feels clunky.
Mhm.
At the same time, they added some more like lock-on features and everything.
Okay.
So I was actually barely using the stick when I was playing. I was locking onto targets, sending my Pikmin out that way.
Interesting. Okay. So that
So
takes away the aiming entirely. But
pretty much.
does that change the difficulty of the game, the ability to lock on like that, or do you miss having to aim?
So
That's an
like I'm
interesting gameplay change.
Yeah, I'm more on like the Pikmin beginner side. So my
Sure.
gameplay is inelegant compared to people who are really good at Pikmin, right? And for them, I don't think that level of imprecision would work. But for me, I'm like, okay, all 100 Pikmin run at the Bulborb, right?
Mhm.
And it's feasible. And if you're smart and you're managing your resources, you can play this way. And so it did work for me. That said, this guy right here is the way to play Pikmin.
You always got a Wiimote on hand.
I always
Don't ask where he keeps it. Oh Lord, he's got two of them.
just play Nintendo Land, actually.
Oh my God! Guess what? I've got one too.
I actually don't even have any white Wii remotes anymore. I only have these blue ones,
Oh,
which is very peculiar.
something's coming. Wii Pro Controller. Not comfortable, let me tell you.
Oh, you don't want to fucking play this game with me.
What? Play the Wii U Pro Controller game?
I'll match you pound for pound. What do you want to pull out next? Fucking Genesis controller?
I
I
didn't bring my Genesis with me.
It's in a mess of cords, so I have to bring it here in a weird way.
Well, I'm very glad that you enjoyed Pikmin 3 Deluxe. Pikmin is
Yeah.
a series I'm fascinated by. In the amount that I've played it, I do think it seems really interesting. I love its visual style, of the charm. I like the little characters, all of that. 3 Deluxe is one that I will give a shot at some point. I do have access to 3 because I own it. But I think playing it on Switch would probably be the way I would prefer to
Yeah.
play it, especially with that portability. But I really hope this pushes the Pikmin series forward in the future. Pikmin 4 exists. Let's see if that actually ever comes to fruition. But I'd like to see Nintendo give Pikmin the push that it probably deserves with the Switch in that second half of the life cycle. Now that they have the install base, they've gotten the Mario's, the Smash, the Pokemon, the Zelda, all that out of the way. Give another series a chance to become one of those shining properties.
Yeah, I was writing
Pikmin.
about this recently, here's what's weird, right? This is like Mr. Miyamoto's baby. He loves Pikmin, but it doesn't not finding the audience, which is why I think this Niantic game, if it releases and it's competent, is going to be really big for the series to expose them to why Pikmin is great, you know? And I think you should play Pikmin because I really think you would enjoy it. You're a man of bugs and creatures. I don't know if the audience knows this.
That's true.
But you like a good bug and you like a good creature. So I really think you would enjoy this game.
Yeah.
Whether you play 3 or you play some of the older ones, you know, Give it a shot. What if, Tucker?
Oh Christ,
we did a review of Pikmin 1.
that's pretty compelling. Not gonna lie.
That's
Not
pretty
gonna
compelling.
lie.
It's a pretty short game.
Wii version available on Wii U Virtual Console?
Yes, it
Virtual
is.
Store, store,
Yes.
shop.
That
Okay.
is Virtual Console. That one is Virtual Console.
Even though it's a Wii game, which you can play Wii games on the Wii U with the disc.
Well, I guess it isn't exactly virtual. Oh, it doesn't matter. We're getting into semantics, but yes.
Yeah.
I like the idea of a Pikmin 1 review.
That sounds pretty fucking good.
I'm just telling you.
All of our GameCube reviews have gone great in the past.
Have we done more than one?
No, we just did Metroid Prime and it fucked up.
Oh, we also did Resident Evil 4.
Yeah, that's true.
I really enjoyed when we reviewed Metroid Prime because I finally beat the game.
Now, you talking about Pokemon Snap? No, that was not sure at all. You talking about Pikmin 3 Deluxe? You talking about Monster Hunter Rise? The game that I played that I have not had a chance to talk about since we've last recorded a BLB episode is one a little indie game you might not have heard of. Final Fantasy VII on the
right, I
PlayStation
forgot you've
1.
been fucking playing this game.
I played a really solid amount of Final Fantasy VII. I got distracted by other stuff. I really would like to get back to it. You know, that's a death phrase right there that
yes,
I know from experience of knowing you does not mean a lot in the grand scheme of things, but it's a great game. I played Final Fantasy VI at the end of last year. I think I might have talked about it a little bit on earlier episodes of the show, and I loved it. I've since purchased a lot of the Final Fantasy series. I would love to get into the series and really have an opinion on all of the games because I think it's a really fascinating franchise. And I got into 7 on Switch, and I honestly was like, oh, okay, the world is just Midgar, because I'd only ever seen Midgar stuff, and it's just these characters, and you're just doing stuff within Midgar and with Avalanche and that small team. But after 4 hours of gameplay, you hit an open world and there's other stuff to do and there's more characters to meet, and the story gets much larger and much more complex and much more interesting, in my opinion, than just the story of Midgar, which is an interesting location. But I think the fact that there is a world outside of that and Midgar is just sort of a crowning jewel of the world makes it a lot more fascinating. Yeah. And I visited this arcade that you ride a monorail up into the sky, and it's got all these tubes that you get to go through, and you meet a cat that's riding on a mechanical creature that it's built, and I'm like, okay, I'm in. This is fantastic. It's fascinating. It holds up a lot better gameplay wise than I was initially expecting. The isometric environments can be really obnoxious in some places, but otherwise they just look fantastic and they're not too hard to navigate.
Sure.
But I'm surprised at how well the game holds up. It's a turn-based RPG and it's got random overworld encounters, but the modern ports that are on, I think this on Switch, and I think it's the same port on the other consoles, has many ways for you to mitigate the obnoxious elements of an older game. There is a speed up. There is a way for you to increase your power whenever you want to and turn it off whenever you want to. There's a way for you to disable random encounters. So there's a lot of a lot of options for you to make this old game that is clunky in some regards fit your modern standards and be the experience that you want it to be. So if I come back and actually finish it, which I would love to, I'll let you know more of my overall thoughts on the game. But after playing, I think I played like 15 hours of it. I very much enjoyed almost all of it, and I can see why people love it so much. For me, 6 resonates a little more. I prefer the characters, but it's definitely one of those, obviously genre-defining games. And I was on the outside looking, and I'm like, oh, it's just another one of those fucking turn-based RPGs. But it really is a special game in terms of its scope, in terms of the production value is off the fucking charts for a PS1 game.
Yeah, I own the Switch port of it. I played it very briefly because I was just kind of curious to see just to kind of ground my experience in Final Fantasy VII Remake a little bit. So I literally played like 45 minutes of the original.
Okay.
I just
not a lot of gameplay in that first hour.
No, not really. I did a couple of battles and I was like, oh. JRPGs are just hard for me to get into, I think. And hearing you talk about it and hearing about the modern affordances of the port and everything, it does compel me, but I just don't know. I get daunted by how long these games are. I just get bogged down in all of this. So I think I want to live vicariously through you as you play more of this game and more of the other Final Fantasy games. I think I think it's very interesting how you own so many of them and you're so excited to play the series. And
Mhm.
I'm gonna be chronicling from a distance your journey through all of these fucking lands and games and characters and orbs. I know there's a lot of orbs in these games. So.
There are a lot of orbs. Yeah, material orbs happen to be the ones that are in Final Fantasy VII. But yeah, so I think I'm mostly excited to get into the series because of how diverse. Like all the games are in different worlds. They all have different characters. They all have different gameplay systems. Like there's no one or no two games from the Final Fantasy series that are like. So I just think it's so fascinating in that regard of such a popular series that they really just keep changing up. Sometimes it doesn't work. I would say actually for a lot of the games, people say like, oh, it's not that good, but they still play 70 hours of it. And I'm very excited and interested to see what Final Fantasy 16 is like, because this is the first Final Fantasy game in a while. 15 was a good long time ago, beginning of the PS4 generation, close to, I think. And being in that zeitgeist, seeing people playing through this game and not knowing anything about it, and it being much more modern and taking the issues that people had with 15 and polishing them up, I think this could be a really interesting game to follow along with, and maybe for you and I to play through together, considering it doesn't have those older, clunkier JRPG elements that you might be turned off from the older games.
Yeah, and also it looks like it has Devil May Cry styled combat,
Exactly.
which
Yes.
is super cool. It was the Combat of 7 remake that really hooked me, and I am a huge Devil May Cry 5 fan.
Yeah.
So 16 looking pretty good. I'm definitely gonna play 16.
It does also look very good. That is a visually impressive game. There's particle
Yes.
effects coming out of every fucking orifice possible in that trailer. But
Yes.
we don't know a lot about it. We've only had that initial reveal trailer, except for the fact that it is a PlayStation exclusive, which is interesting. But yeah, so I basically have to say, Final Fantasy, I'm chugging my way through the series.
Good. Let's I got no segue. Let's talk about Monkey Ball. I want to talk to you about Super Monkey Ball Banana Blitz HD, which
Please
is
do.
a port of a notoriously not very good Monkey Ball game, and now I know why. So here's the rub, right, Tucker? I really enjoy Monkey Ball. Ever since I was a little kid, I used to love games that have monkeys in them. I'm just crazy about monkeys.
And we know you love balls.
Yes. So when I was little, I had this game called Buzz Monkey Jr. Okay. It was a PS2 game. It had this weird peripheral controller that looked like a game show buzzer. It had a big red button and a bunch of other different colored buttons. It's
Buzz
like
Monkey
this
who?
Buzz Monkey Jr., I believe it was called.
Buzz Junior Jungle Party Bundle.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Do you see these peculiar
Oh, it's a party
controllers?
game.
Yeah, it's a party game.
I've heard of this. Yeah.
I really loved monkeys, so I really wanted this game. I got it eventually, I think for Christmas or my birthday or something. But it was expensive because it came with the controllers and everything, so my parents wouldn't get it for me for a while. Instead they got me a used copy of Super Monkey Ball instead. And I was just as happy because it had monkeys. I could put it in my PS2 and my dumb little child hands could play Monkey Ball, right?
Yeah.
And ever since I was a kid, I loved Monkey Ball. And today I got a different appreciation for it because it's just such a pure gameplay experience. It is so fun. The early games are so unnecessarily hard and wacky. It's just a really endearing series that very quickly fell off precipitously.
Yes.
Both in terms of having a consistent release schedule, but in terms of quality of game, right? And Banana Blitz was a Wii balance board Monkey Ball game.
Okay. Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
Yes. Yeah, so it was criticized for a lot of different reasons, including being kind of watered down for the new control scheme for the Wii and everything. But this one was remade in HD because, as Sega was very transparent about, it was the easiest one to remake. Their interviews were like, we know people want 1 and 2, but we only had the resources to do Banana Blitz HD.
Yeah, and if I remember correctly, hearing about the zeitgeist about this release of this game, it was sort of a, hey, if you want more Monkey Ball, buy this remake.
Yes, unfortunately. And there are rumors, Tucker, that there's a game called Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania coming, and that could be imminently announced at E3. Yes, a new game.
Okay, interesting. Oh, a modern Monkey Ball will be fascinating.
Yeah, it was rated on a Taiwanese rating board, so it's pretty likely real. There's been a lot of reporting that there is a new Monkey Ball game coming, so fingers crossed for E3. That's one of my biggest hopes.
Sure.
So Banana Blitz HD it's just not very good.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of weird issues. There are boss fights in this one that are just so janky. The game is in this weird position where half of the levels are really polished and basic, and another subsection are just really poorly thought out.
Okay.
it's uneven in terms of creativity and in terms of difficulty, which is disappointing. At the same time, it's still a monkey ball, right? So there's
I
still a
would
base.
assume so.
Yes, it's not a completely different game, believe it or not. So the basic fun of monkey ball is still here, which is accentuated, Tucker, by unlocking Sonic the Hedgehog as you do when you beat the game, where you can just fucking break it. You can just, and I've posted some clips to my Twitter of me doing this, of just completely shattering these courses, which is fun to do,
Mhm.
and it actually gets you back a little bit to the classic. Where is it?
Rob Comedy, round 2. Let's fucking go.
Classic monkey ball action of just absurd gimmicks and everything, right? So I had fun with it overall, but in light of its objective issues, of its weird design choices, it's like a 6, I'd say. It's
Sure.
like a 6. That said, Monkey Ball, I'm a big fan. I never played the original Banana Blitz, so it was still kind of neat to play this one, right?
Probably the better version to play, considering Wii Balance Board, weird controller, or would you say that the gimmick of using the balance board actually might increase the enjoyment, the entertainment value?
Well, I'll defer to John Cartwright on this one,
Oh,
who said
okay.
in his review that the button controls make easy courses even easier because they were designed to be played with motion, which is less precise, right?
Yeah.
So when you have buttons, it kind of gets rid of some of the appeal of the courses. So
Yeah.
it's probably a mixed bag. I don't know. I'd prefer to have easier courses that I just play with buttons and sticks for
Yeah.
my preferences.
Hmm.
But I think that's gonna mileage will vary depending on the player. So Monkey Ball, I played it.
Well, I mean, I'm honestly interested in seeing this that series be revived.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of tittlings in the wind that Sega's trying to bring back a lot of their franchises. Don't
Yeah.
know exactly how that's going to play out, but I think Monkey Ball is such a unique series that, I mean, I guess was ripped off with a lot of marble type games and things in the Wii era, but seeing that have a resurgence in a modern way with hopefully a new sort of gameplay style that takes advantage of modern hardware could be really interesting.
Yeah, I hope it finds a nice balance between having these new ideas, but also returning to what made the first two games great.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be a hard line to walk, but if the right talent's involved, it could be really, really awesome.
we'll see.
But Tucker,
Anything else you want to talk about? One
I
more
have
game?
one other game to talk about.
Okay.
You have anything else you want to talk about?
Let me give my meat a good old rub.
As you
Um,
tend to do on camera.
yeah. Um, well, I played like one day. I played some Fall Guys again, and
Okay.
it was interesting to go hop into the game and have it be like basically all new courses.
Yeah.
And that's the fun of Fall Guys. And the reason that we dropped off of it is it was only 15 something stages at the beginning. So the fact that you can take a break and come back and have it be essentially an entirely new experience, in terms of the gameplay, because it's so based around what the course designs are, it was pretty fun. I only got like 3, I think I was familiar with in the 2 or so hours that I was playing it. And it's still a very solid game. I just think that that repetition doesn't stick with me in any way.
Sure.
And the battle royale format of you have to literally be the best one in your entire 100-man thing to
Yeah.
win that doesn't click with me. But Fall Guys is still a good game. That's just my one-off spiel about it.
It'd be really hard to get me back into Fall Guys.
Yeah.
I think it just, again, like you were saying, the battle royale format is a detriment to me.
Mm-hmm.
The Switch release has been delayed, which is interesting. If that version came out, I don't know if it does, but if they were like, hey, here's an actual local multiplayer suite, now that people are actually going to be paying for that version,
Yeah.
it'd be interesting if it coincided with a bigger update that made it more than just an online multiplayer experience. If that was the case, then maybe I could be compelled, but I think that ship has probably sailed for me.
Yeah. What's the final game? What's the last game of the day for return of season 2, episode 1 of Backlog Banter? This better be a good one. If you fucking sling me some lame oh, you've got a grin on your face that I don't like. Say it. Spit it out.
Okay, I want to talk about the mysterious Murasame castle.
Now, quick question. When did you play this? Because you have not mentioned this. You usually talk to me on various avenues about the stuff you're playing. I did not hear that you started this, played it at all, or are you just going to talk about it? Did you not even play it?
No, I played it. I'm going to talk about it.
Okay.
I talked about it to you in a circumspect way when I said I wanted to review Samurai Warriors 3, which has a full remake of this game inside of it.
Okay.
So because Tucker, Let me take you on a walk, if you'd oblige me.
I need some exercise.
The Mysterious Murasame Castle was a Famicom exclusive title,
Yes.
which later got re-released on some virtual consoles, as it pertains to us, an English release on the 3DS Virtual Console,
Okay.
which is how
Oddly
I played it.
specific.
Yes, that's how I played it. I don't know if it's on Wii U Virtual Console. I played it when I was at college, so I only had my 3DS with me in terms of machines that had access to a virtual console. That's where I played it. But the Mysterious Murasame Castle is the sister game to The Legend of Zelda. So
Okay.
for people who aren't familiar, some of the NES games had sister games. The most iconic pair is Kid Icarus and Metroid.
Yep.
Meaning they came out around a similar time. They had a lot of similar design elements within them. You can see a lot of similarities there. It's the same with Mysterious Murasame Castle and the original Zelda.
Mhm.
So there is a lot of reused menus. It's a similar top-down map style. A lot of functionality from NES Zelda is in Murasame Castle.
Sure.
But they're very different games. They're both top-down action games, but this is a linear game that focuses purely on its combat, opposed to Zelda's puzzle solving, exploration, everything. You play as this little ninja guy, and Murasame himself, and you are running through these stages to basically reclaim your land, right?
Okay.
There's
Much like Hyrule Warriors.
It's funny you say that, because on the Wii, in Samurai Warriors 3, there is a full remake of Murasame's castle in the context of a Dynasty Warriors gameplay system.
Oh, okay.
Which is very peculiar. And also, that game has 2 published reviews, and when you look it up on Google, IGN gave it a 3 out of 10, and Nintendo Life gave it an 8 out of 10. So God fucking knows.
For Samurai Warriors 3?
Yes. So God knows what the quality of that game really is.
Holy shit.
But this game is really weird, because I don't understand why it hasn't been re-released in a more official way.
Mm-hmm.
Because Murasame...
Everyone knows 3DS not an official Nintendo console. Nintendo didn't support it.
But Tucker, here's where it gets complicated, right? What I mean is, why wasn't there like a follow-up game? Why wasn't this more prominently released? What's the deal? Because Murasame...
What's the deal with Mysterious Murasame Castle? I'm trying to distract you as much as possible. I think it's hilarious. Having a great time.
They're an assist trophy in Smash Brothers.
Yep.
In Nintendo Land, there's a Murasame Castle minigame, one-player minigame, which I haven't played yet, that I want to play. So
all of your years of fucking coming all over your copy of Nintendo Land, you've never played this minigame.
No, I actually haven't played a lot of the single-player games. I'm gonna actually run through them and log it on Backlog and talk about it later. Actually, I don't want to show my hand.
That's fine.
But so the characters always existed like on the edge, like edgewise of Nintendo's catalog, and it gets these little re-releases here and there. But it's a weird place. And here's the problem, Tucker.
Okay.
I don't think the game is very good.
Okay, that was my question there. You have the whole spiel. I'm like, well, did you enjoy playing the video game with your eyes and hands?
No, it's for me, it's more of a novelty. It's the history of it. It's the fact that, here's a fun little piece of Nintendo's history that people don't really talk about a lot. Mm-hmm. The actual gameplay, it's kind of simple, esoteric, 4th generation gameplay, in the sense of, okay, there's power-ups hidden on the map, but they're completely invisible. You got to know what like block to strike to find it. Kind of like burning the right bush in NES Zelda to find an item or what have you. So there's some esoteric stuff in there. The combat is pretty basic, honestly, Zelda-like combat. Swing your friggin' sword, you got a melee attack, things of that nature. The problem is, it's too esoteric and it's too difficult, but not difficult in a way that feels fun. It's in a way that where hitboxes don't quite feel right, so enemies are hitting with stuff that it doesn't feel like you should be hit by. Mm-hmm. It feels like your movement's a little bit too restricted, but at the same time, it is ambitious. It's an interesting, ambitious top-down action title that feels like it's on a similar scope and production value to Zelda, not only because they're sister games, but because clearly a lot of effort was put into this experience to make it a compelling NES title. And I would love if this had been brought to Switch Online. Yeah. So you can play with Rewind, because without Rewind, it's just frustrating getting hit by projectiles when I'm trying to dodge, and the hitboxes don't seem right, and it just became frustrating, so I didn't beat it. Mm-hmm. It's not a very long game, but it's a symptom of its time.
Yeah.
Which is why I would love a modern Nintendo needs to do better with the eShop. The stretchers, good job. Okay, but I want to see things like, what if there's like a $15 Murasame Castle that came back and a fun little top-down action game. Put it, Tucker. Galaxy brain idea for you. Put it in the 2D Zelda engine. Bring the parody of the sister games back. Think about, imagine that. Tucker, imagine the year was 2014.
I can imagine it.
The Legend of Zelda Link Between Worlds just came out.
Yeah.
Nintendo announces on the 3DS eShop, Murasame Castle 2 in the Link Between Worlds engine. Can you imagine that?
I can actually pretty easily, yeah.
That would have been so amazing. But instead, we have the port on 3DS in English.
Triforce Warriors. Triforce Heroes, rather.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's how I want to end this episode. I played Murasame Castle. John Cartwright really likes this game. He stole my thunder because he played it after I did tweeted about it.
And we didn't make BLB episodes, so you couldn't have capitalized. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I talked to John Cartwright on Twitter, and I'll never let you misconstrue that situation. I had a dream about John Cartwright where he sold me a copy of Star Fox Adventures. I tweeted him about it, and he said, maybe you should go play Star Fox Adventures.
Did you?
No, I don't own Star Fox Adventures.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, he needs to sell you a copy.
I think eBay is going to sell me a copy.
Oh.
The next 2 games I'm going to be purchasing, Tucker, unless we review Pikmin 1. And then I'll have to buy that.
Okay.
Donkey Kong 64.
Okay.
And Star Fox Adventures.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And considering you don't, it's already strange that you don't own a Star Fox game. There's a Star Fox game that you don't own. So
I've never even played Star Fox Command.
The fuck's wrong with you?
I don't know. But that's on this guy right here. I could buy it right here.
Yeah.
If I wanted to.
You could. And I think that, whoa, with my face reflected in the Wii U screen, that's a great place to end this episode. And I'm excited to be doing this again. Unfortunately, the format of this might end up being bi-weekly for a little bit, considering I am returning to the homeland for 1 month, and very busy while I'm there in terms of I've got a lot of doctor's appointments scheduled, which is annoying because I haven't done any doctor stuff since I've not been in Texas. I'm shooting a short film with my friends, going to see my grandma. We got E3 coming up. I'm working with the Creator Network. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to check out this promo video that we just made. But I'd love BLB to return. We could do mini BLB episodes that aren't as long, not as time sensitive, not as time extensive. But the show is back, baby. Season 2 is here, and now I have to figure out what this thumbnail format is going to be. Unless you want to make a thumbnail layout format for season 2 of Backlog Banter. He does. I see it in his eyes. He's raring to go. Just like Banjo-Kazooie for Smash Bros. Ultimate. Deep breaths, yoga, It's like a Wii Fit's downbeat.
Oh, by the way, I have a video concept for you. I want to do this it's purely to scum for views.
100%. That's fine.
I want to do Chet Hanks inspired White Boy Summer training videos where I play gameplay videos of Ring Fit Adventure and like Wii Fit and Punch Out Wii, like shirtless, and just post them.
That's fine.
Just like edit them down and post them.
Yeah, I'd love that.
I think that's a great way to get some engagement.
My Hot Boy Summer show.
Yes. I believe it's White Boy Summer.
Oh, that's true. Hot Girl Summer. Sorry, White Boy Summer. I'm not participating in either. Instead, I'm doing Horror Boy Summer, and I've watched 18 horror movies in the past week.
Holy shit. That's like at least a movie a day.
Yeah, at least.
Okay, do the intro.
All right.